Really, Dennis? Really?
Why? I'm taking it easy.
I see that. You're taking it easy. Give us some karaoke, buddy.
It's been a long, rough road the past couple of weeks, and I am taking it easy this weekend. We will be not going to a tow show, but you will be attending an event. So
yes, I will be attending an event. It will be the Slow Down Move Over National Slow Down Move Over Day, celebrated in Phoenix, Arizona, the third Saturday of October.
So you'll be standing on a corner in Phoenix, Arizona, right?
We'll be standing on a corner in Phoenix, Arizona, celebrating National Slow Down Move Over Day.
Such a fine sight to see.
It is. Did you just weave all that in?
I did.
Our friend at work, Matt, would be very proud of you because isn't that his song, I believe?
It is. I think it is.
Right.
So we just got back from the Tennessee Tow Show in Chattanooga, hosted by the fine folks at the Tennessee Tow Association and our good friends over at Tow Times.
Yes, we did. It was a fantastic show, and all the events were spectacular.
As you can see, we're missing one of our usual crew. We actually left her in Tennessee, so she's actually in jail in Tennessee. No, I can't keep saying that. I said that when you were missing last time.
No, you cannot. But Ivante is not with us this weekend, so it is Dennis and I holding down the fort for you guys. We're excited to see you be on here with us. So welcome to Honk After Dark, or what we call Honk 5.
Yeah, it's been a long, crazy couple of weeks. We were in Vegas, we were in Mason, and Chattanooga, all within 4 weeks, back to back, basically.
Yes, exactly.
And so yeah, I am going to be taking it easy while you head to Arizona this weekend. But let's talk about some of the things that happened this weekend. There were all sorts of events going on, not just the tow show. The tow show floor was pretty busy. Lots of booths and trucks and things going on, typical tow show stuff. But there was also
very busy, packed with vendors. I see Paul Williams is on. What's up, Paul Williams?
What up, Paul?
And packed with vendors, packed with people. There was a constant stream. We had some great industry vendors represented, people that I had seen for years, some, that were brand new. And so, of course, we had to make friends with those people. But as Dennis mentioned, and he'll talk a little bit more about this, the extracurricular events after the show. What did you get to go participate in, Dennis?
I got to go out having a couple drinks with Haas and Tom Parbs. Does that count?
No, it doesn't. Yes, it does.
No, we also we were co-hosts of the Block Party, which is a great outside event after the show on Friday. I'm losing track of what day of the week it is.
Till Force in the house.
Till Force in the house. What's up? I was actually at the Block Party with the parishes. We were having a good time there, kicking back a couple beers and having some great barbecue outside, just hanging, listening to some great music and hanging with some cool towers, having a good time.
While you were at the Block Party, Yvonne and I were both at the live auction and the silent auction.
How was that?
It was packed out. It was a fantastic event. Got to sit and chat with a lot of folks I've not seen in a while because of all of our shutdown situations. It was really, really great. It was a great night for everybody.
So, as you mentioned, I missed it, but what kind of things were they auctioning off?
You name it. It was anything from the gigantic Lego rotator. There were a few of those. There were lots of gift sets, women's purses with all kinds of accessories to go with it, a big, beautiful jewelry set from Blue Nile. There were lots of bourbons, whiskeys, things to go along with. I even saw moon pie liquor. I thought that was interesting.
That sounds like fun. I have to get my hands on one of those.
Vanilla. I thought that was fantastic. So I'm like going through all the, so it's just, I would say we had a room with like, I don't know, I would guess like 100 different silent auctions that you could what do you say, bid on. That's it.
Nice. There are also some great training seminars going on. There was the entire safety symposium. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to attend that because we had to work and meet and greet with all of our fantastic providers. But from what I hear, the events and training and all the seminars and symposiums and everything were all amazing. I believe your very own Renee Jimenez also hosted his own class, I heard.
He did. He talked about the hows and whys of snatch blocks, why you use them, how to maintain them, so many different things about the snatch block. He had a great big gigantic one all the way down to like a 2-ton or a 4-ton. Really
Very
great.
cool. Very cool. I know our friends over at RecMaster and our other good friends over at Erska also hosted their own training classes. Those were great events from what I heard, incredibly successful. I believe the Erska class actually had one of the youngest certified towers ever, from what I heard. I believe they certified a 15-year-old tower from actually up your neck of the woods from Wisconsin, I believe.
It's fantastic. We've had some people that have just joined us, Koymar Allied Towing and Recovery Services out of Harlingen, Texas. And then we've got Dan German, Best Motor Club to deal with. Thank you so much, Dan. We appreciate that.
And then, Towing Life, how you doing over there?
What's up, Towing Life? Welcome to HONK Live.
I will say the reception we received our friends over at Tow Times. 2 weeks ago we had Clarissa Powell on with us talking about leading up to the tow show, but the crew from Tow Times and the Tennessee Tow Truck Association were just absolutely amazing. Anything we needed, they were there. So if you happen to be a prospective vendor looking to set up a booth at a tow show next year, Tennessee's the one.
Yes, I would agree. It's fantastic. Perfect. So what are we talking about this week, Dennis?
Well, we are also one other event that we didn't talk about yet that happened. We had the Wall of the Fallen ceremony. My first time attending the ceremony over at the museum. My first time attending the museum as well. I got to walk around a few minutes before the ceremony and just see some of the cool stuff that's there. Really exciting, just seeing all the history of the industry and the old trucks and some of the old equipment stuff that they've got there. They're really doing some great things. So if you're ever down near Chattanooga, absolutely stop in at the museum. But also the Wall of the Fallen ceremony takes place at the memorial, which is outside of the museum. And 41 new names were added to the wall this year, and it's a tearjerker. If they're I don't know a single person there that didn't have a tear in their eye by the time that ceremony was over, watching families come up and, watch their loved ones and friends and family really be honored in a way that is like no other. This industry really goes above and beyond to honor our fallen. So great event there, which kind of leads us into our next topic and our guest this evening. Our guest this evening we're going to bring on our frequent guest, Mr. Tom Parbs of Haas Alert, who sponsored the No More Names on the Wall campaign. And great initiative to hopefully not add names, or at least be able to add fewer names to that wall in upcoming years. And our amazing repeat guest, I think she now leads for most appearances on HONK events, including live shows and podcasts. Miss Angela Roper-Barnett will be joining us to talk about her upcoming event this weekend in Arizona, Move Over Day. So without further ado, let's bring on Angela and Tom.
And while they're coming on, hey, Carrie Fogg from North Carolina, how are you doing, my dear? Thank you for coming, Carrie, one of our friends. And we've got Tom Parbs coming on here in a second, along with Angela Roper. But it looks like our producer might be making some comments here. Tom? Angela? This is one of those moments where the teleprompter stops working. Have you ever seen that? Like,
this is where we just sit here and look at each other for a couple of minutes.
Hey,
welcome.
Hey.
Like I just saw you guys.
We made it.
We made
Dennis,
it. Everybody made it home safe.
We were. Oh, hey, I was thinking, just gonna pop this out there. Did the guy from Star Trek make it up to the?
He did. William Shatner.
He did. Captain Kirk made it to space and back.
I'm like, what kind of stuck in that little space jaunt?
Unfortunately, it wasn't the final frontier he was frequently talking about, but he made it.
Right.
Well, okay.
So, guys, we were all. Can I say guys? I don't know, but y'all.
Yeah, you can.
We were all just in at the tow show together. Talk to us. What did you like about the show? What was your favorite thing?
I loved it.
Yeah, I'll let you go, Angela.
I think it is. It was probably one of the best Tennessee tow shows that we have had in a while. The foot traffic, as you guys said, was fantastic. I think that there, a lot of people, vendors commented the same thing. So I think the traffic was good. I think all the events were phenomenal. We were at a new venue this year with the Towing Museum, doing it at the Westin for the first time. And that was a great, great venue, nice facilities. And they changed the show up a little bit this year. I mean, the museum and the history have always been that we honored traditions. So with the new boards that have come in the last few years, that we've kind of leaned towards, doing something a little bit different. So things get changed and it seems to be working. So it's great. I was happy with it. I don't know about you, Tom, but I was happy with the show. All of the, I would like to have seen more people in the seminars. I did see a little bit lack in that. So we are going to change that for next year in Tennessee. We are.
Yeah, I would agree. And it was an amazing show. I think the Tennessee Tow Truck Association, I think Tow Times, Angela, yourself. I mean, just everything that the teams did. It was really, really an amazing show. What I really loved about it is it was a show, but there was sort of that intimate element of it, that it wasn't too packed. It wasn't like a rapid fire of people. You could really engage with people and you could talk to them. I mean, we had a booth, and it wasn't like 20 people coming by. I mean, it was a steady flow, but we could actually have good conversations and meaningful conversations with people. And then being in such an amazing city, it was great to be able to go out to some of the events like the auction, the breakfast on Sunday morning, to be able to go to the Tow Museum, be there for the Wall of Fame. I mean, Dennis, you hit the nail on the head when it comes to, that's the first time I've been to the wall ceremony, and, to just be there and experience it really just invigorated my passions for how we really truly want to start reducing the number of names that were going on the wall. I mean, I couldn't keep my composure. I mean, I've been in the Marine Corps, and we learned to try to keep ourselves in check, and I just couldn't. And to be able to see how much everybody really cared, and there's nothing against the other shows, but it was just a really good vibe that was there of people that cared, wanted to learn from each other, wanted to talk to each other. I will say though, and I agree with you, Angela, on some of the sessions. I was part of, I was with Bill Georges, and we had a morning session on Friday, and we were talking about safety and technology. And there were supposed to be some other people that are a part of that. And I was the only person that showed up with Bill. So we used that as a good time to have there was a lot of people that showed up in attendance, but other, participants hadn't showed up. So Bill and I just used it as an opportunity to have really good, deep conversations about safety with people. And I loved it. It was my favorite show of the year. And again, that's not to disparage the other shows. I've been to a lot this year. I literally leave in the morning for the American Towman Games in Cleveland, but so far my favorite show, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Fantastic. We've had some people join us. We've got Renee is in the house. Mike Martinez, welcome to the show. Talking a little bit about the tow shows in the past, but that's super exciting, Tom. We love that you had that conversation with Bill. What a fantastic person he's been to our towing industry too.
He's amazing.
Yes.
Like really amazing.
Really great on the safety side. He's taught classes in the past for Tennessee, has he not, Angela?
Oh yes, Bill and I go way back with traffic incident management. I mean, gosh, I can't remember the first time we went to Chicago to one. I mean, I'm dating myself, but we've been involved in it for a very long time. And so yeah, and he's great. He's always a great resource. He's a great instructor. He's a great speaker. Just a great, and he's a genuine person overall. I mean, he just is phenomenal. No wonder he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. He's great. Love him.
And the city of Chattanooga was more than welcoming. There was not an Uber driver that I didn't get in a single Uber where somebody didn't go, "Hey, you guys at the tow show?" Like everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what goes on in this town. And frankly, I mean, I didn't go to I didn't get in an Uber or go to a restaurant or go to a bar that somebody didn't know the Yates family. My goodness.
Yes.
Chattanooga
Well, of
royalty.
course, it's Chattanooga. I love the way you say Chattanooga. Chattanooga. Even when I was there, and for my time that I was the director at the museum, I didn't call it Chattanooga. Yeah, no, Chattanooga.
Giving you a hard time, Dennis. It's all good.
Yes,
It's fine. She was teaching me how to pronounce Texas cities when we were talking. It's fine.
Yes, I was.
My East Coast is coming out.
You got to hyphenate. You got to.
Yes, it is.
Definitely.
So if you guys want to drop any comments in the any questions in the comments for Angela or for Tom or about tow shows, please absolutely jump in, and we want to know what you have to say. We want to know what shows you're looking to attend next year. I know we've only got, as Tom said, he'll be in Cleveland this coming weekend, and we have Move Over Day in Arizona this weekend as well. And then we basically just got the big one, Baltimore is left, and then we get to tuck in for winter.
Yes.
Although I will say, and I jokingly said this to Angela the other day, I live in the Chicagoland area, so the winter is not usually very nice to us. So yeah, I've got Cleveland tomorrow through Sunday, and then I think in a week and a half from then I'll be at the Tow
Summit
in Captiva Island, Florida. That's at the end of October, and then about 2 weeks after that in Baltimore for the big show. So Baltimore better bring their game because they've got a really high bar that the Tennessee show set, right? But I jokingly said to Angela, I was like, listen, I live in the land of construction and winter. Those are our two seasons here in the Chicagoland area. So while it's freezing cold and I don't want to leave my house, I'm okay if there's any charity golf events in sunny, warm, tropical weather. So I'm all for it.
Well,
Corey, we're just
go ahead.
Just responding to Corey Myers' questions about tow shows. Whatever you want to talk about. I mean, we're here to talk about some important stuff as well. We can dive into what Angela's got going on and what Tom's got going on, but we're just here to hang out and really just talk about what we've been doing, where we've been, and where we're going next. Also, big shout out to the Erska crew. We see Erska and Steve joining us as well.
Steve, how's it going? Great to meet you in Tennessee.
Christopher
And
Parrish.
he's a birthday boy. Hello.
Yeah, happy birthday, Steve.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Steve.
You got Jeff and Sherry Corbett on the line too. Hey, you guys. Not sure which one is
this is officially about Slow Down, Move Over, this episode, Corey, to answer your question. So, Angela, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you have going on this weekend for those that don't know?
Yeah, I thought we were just going to sit here and talk about tow shows. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely. This is probably one thing that has become very dear to me, and and that you talk about the Wall of the Fallen and the names, and being there at the museum and being the director of it, you have to make those phone calls to the families, awarding them the money that the Survivor Fund does, give them. It's a phenomenal thing with men. That's a hard phone call to make, and so that going on, and it really angers me, when I sit back and I see the family of all the little kids walking up there, and it was a realization. I just kind of had to back off from the crowd, and I have to go, what else can I do? Because I take it personally. I take it all like it's only my job to do this, but I look at it that way, and that makes me more passionate, more productive to get stuff done. And so doing that show and then coming straight home to here, it is really, I've been planning this, and I have a committee that helps me along with this, in the APTRA board, but we do a national move over day. And it used to be just, towers getting together, and they did a parade, and they thought, okay, we'll highlight some slow down, move over. And that was great. But then, when I came on here in end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I'm like, nope, need bigger and better. We got to make this as big as we can get. And so we need to make change happen. And it can't just be about move over laws. We know that we're never going to stop distracted driving. And so we have to do something that's bigger and better than that. And if my goal for Move Over Day National Move Over Day was that if we could get enough recognition, enough states participating on that one particular day, that my goal would be to have national news coverage, recognition, ABC, NBC, I don't care who it is. I just want national people to pick up the feed from the local networks. When you have 20 states, 25 states doing the same thing on the same day, and they've got hundreds of tow trucks out there, you know, I mean, come on, can you imagine what that would look like? And that's my dream. I want people to pay attention. I want the motoring public. We don't have to tell towers. We have to tell the motoring public. We have to tell our kids coming up in school. We got to tell them all. So you got me on a roll. You open the gate now. Just stand back.
You know, we talked about this recently on our latest episode of the Get Hooked podcast as well. You, both of you joined Yvonne and I, and we had a great conversation. That'll be coming out this week. If you look forward this week, I mean, within the next 7 days, look out for our social media. You'll see when the exact release is. We're just finishing up with some touches on that. But we talked about this in great depth, and we talked about there's multiple levels to slow down, move over. There's multiple levels to protecting operators on the side of the road. And like you mentioned, Angela, it's starting at the top. It's starting at educating young drivers as soon as they get their licenses. Let them know that this is something you need to be mindful of while you're on the side of the road. Then we have everything leading up to awareness and all the information that you guys are putting out there, all the initiatives that we all share on Facebook and things that we all put out to our friends in the public and everything else. Then there's the actual advanced warning system. Tom, that's where you and your team come in. If you don't know about Tom and Haas Alert, I don't know where the heck you've been for the past 8-10 months, because he's all over the place in this industry. So you must be living under a rock if you don't know what Tom and Haas is doing. But check them out. They've got great product as well. They have advanced warning system. Then you have your lights and your personal protective gear and your training to know how to position your truck and everything else. And then, unfortunately, we have laws in place that are fortunately that there are laws in place, but unfortunately that they need to be used so that there are penalties for people that break this law and hurt and kill our towers out there in the line of duty every day. So there really is this timeline from the very, very beginning of let's start with education, move up through awareness, protect ourselves, and then punish.
Yeah, and I think, to add to that, well, first, before I get started, for anybody that's watching this live or goes back and watches this, there are people that know, but I think the in the grand scheme of things, I think the larger population doesn't really truly understand the person that I'm and an honor to join her with, Angela, the fight that she's been fighting for quite some time, and things that you don't even know about to make changes for our industry, to make the roadways safer, to make the laws stronger, to get people home safer to their families. Let me tell you, you don't know the things that she has been doing. And so, I challenge everyone when you see her to just give her a hug, shake her hand, tell her thank you, because she is literally somebody that,
buy her a drink.
Whether you like her or not, whether you love her or not, doesn't really matter. Whether you're indifferent to her opinions, doesn't really matter. She actually gives a crap about you and literally wants to help you get home safer and wants to make the industry a safer place. So for me to be here sitting with Angela to talk about this stuff certainly, is a great honor. And I say that not to flatter you, Angela, but I tell you that as much as I can.
I paid you a lot of money to say that. What are you talking about?
$100. That's my number. No,
thank you.
Inside joke. But listen, slow down, move over it's a really, really important thing. And it's, people have to understand that it's not one thing. The best way I can explain it to people is like putting a puzzle together, right? Everybody, if you might be living under a rock if you've never put a puzzle together, but like the lights and the advanced warning and our safety vests and our laws and enforcement and education, these are all like little puzzle pieces that we're trying to put together so we get this clear image, right, of roadside safety. And I think it's really important too that the industry knows, right? When I mean industry, our towing, our roadside assist, our incident responders, even our responder industries, that when we talk about slow down and move over, it really transcends beyond, hey, protect the road worker, which is super important. Like, there should never be anything that's taken away from that. I want to make sure I'm clear. But it really comes down to roadway safety. As much as we know and we can see from being the Wall of the Fallen and the news reports and all the Facebook groups and everything out there about how dangerous this really is, this actually also impacts the civilian motorists that are out there as well, right? And so really what we're all talking about is truly roadway safety. So everybody, and I mean everybody, can get home safer. So that's why I love being a part of these discussions, because it really, we can start talking about truly roadway safety, and it's all of these components. There's no one thing better than the other, but I think the combination of them can enhance it together, which really truly adds to safety. And we're going to keep looking at things that we can utilize to enhance everything that we're doing, because the end result means that you go home safer to your family. Your customer goes home safer to your family. You as a business owner, your business is protected. So it really is something to be passionate about, right? And even if it's having, keeping the conversations alive within your circles, right? Your small group of friends, maybe that bigger circle, right? That's maybe not your tow friends, but they're still very connected to you. And even for those that aren't in the tow business, that are just, regular motorists that are family and friends that are watching this or will watch this. It's having those discussions, because at the end of the day, that means more people get home safer. And that means that we don't put as many more names on that wall, and we don't get to see families that are torn apart. It will live with me forever, my experience at the wall ceremony. And I've probably been working, I'm probably on my 13th or 14th hour today. And it feels like I just woke up and I'm ready to go. I will not stop until we've started reducing this problem. That's my commitment to this industry and everybody. People are dying, people are being injured, families are being torn apart. And if we work together, we can make a big difference. And that's what I love about working with Angela, and obviously you, Dennis, and you, Shelly, and the whole HONK team and everybody out there. Love me or hate me, we're going to work together and make a big difference for this problem.
That's fantastic.
No, I'm all about that. Thank you for all the nice comments and things you said. Again, I paid him a lot of money, people, just so you know. No, really. But I people who know me very well know that, it just give me a challenge and I'm on it. And this is something that, started way back before, even the museum, when I was there. And now I just have a great, platform that I can put the effort into it. And my board with the Arizona Association lets me just go and do it. And, it's great. They love it. We enhanced our move over law this year, which was even better. But just please don't ever be mistaken that I think the move over laws are going to save our lives, because that's not it. It is not going to save our lives. We need more enforcement. We have a lot of work to do. They're good, but you have to do the other side to that. And you have to have the education and everything that all of us have said on here just so far. But, as far as our move over day and other states getting involved, when I first started with National Move Over Day, I sent an email out to all state associations and just blasted them and like, hey, we need more states have to get involved. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you sit in Walmart parking lot and hand out flyers. I do not care. But do something. Have a voice that day. And I have so many people that contacted me, states, and said, my association's, really doesn't want to do anything. How can I make a difference? And I would give them, and I typed up this big guideline for people of what we do here and how we started. And it was just ideas, going from one thing, but it also became, something else as well. So we use it as a full round project for us. But, coming off of COVID, I believe that last year we had a decent turnout at it. I'm hoping this year will be even bigger and better. I have a lot of federal government agencies at this event this year. I have NHTSA coming. I have Federal Highway coming.
NHTSA.
National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Wow.
I have federal, of course, we all know what Federal Highway Workers Administration is.
Yeah.
I have them coming. I have our DPS, of course. I have our instant response units will be there. Our DOT will be there. Our city of Tempe, which is the city in which we're having it in. Police department, chief of police is doing our opening welcome. So normally we have the governor's office there, but he couldn't make it this time. Not happy about that, but
That's unfortunate.
it'd be all right.
Hmm.
So,
Um,
but
Real quick, I just want to touch on the comments real quick. Corey Meyer said, Corey, stick around for as soon as we're done with the show. We're actually going to we've shared it a couple times before, but we do have a PSA that we share on all of our social media, and we share with all of our clients and across the board as well. So stick around after the show. You guys can see our PSA, and we'll also post that a link to that on its own, so you can share that on your social media as well. Carrie and Jeff both said that they did their own billboards. If you guys have pictures of those billboards, please submit them to us. We would love, this entire group would love to share them across all of our social media platforms. Honk, Angela, your team, Tom, your team, I'm sure you guys would all be willing to share that. Derek, your organization, Slow Down, Move Over. Those are our friends over at the New York Tow Trucks for Families organization. They run all sorts of charity events. They have you can check out their website. They have some toy runs coming up and some other holiday events happening. So there are many ways to get involved, and we appreciate all of your responses here as well.
Lloyd Roadside Assistance, hello from Philadelphia. Welcome.
And you know what?
I
I
love
mentioned this
Carrie's
on
suggestions too. As Carrie says, some great suggestions. I mean, because that's my next thing is getting in the schools and starting with the guys that are going to be out there, starting to drive. We got to educate them. I want to hear little kids tell their mommy, you need to slow down and move over for that car up ahead.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear.
Education
we discussed
is.
this. We discussed this a little bit. No, I just want to make one quick point. We discussed this on our podcast a little bit that we recorded, and it'll be coming out next week again. I want to mention that. But we have insurance clients that we have folks from insurance companies and fleet companies that tune into this as well. I want to kind of push this back on you as well. You guys have a lot more advertising dollars than anybody here. You guys, insurance companies specifically, you have some real big weight you can push around. Your towers are out there supporting your customers and your clients and keeping them safe. And like Tom mentioned, this Slow Down, Move Over just isn't about towers. It's about police, fire, EMS, but it's also about disabled motorists on the side of the road. Tom, what's the number on disabled motorists?
So since 2018, there's been 45,476. When I told you guys, when I saw you in Chattanooga, it was 45,218. We're at 45,476. Disabled motorists have been injured or killed since 2018 on the side of the road, struck, injured, or killed by oncoming drivers. That's just in the U.S. on the roadways. That approximates to about every 7 minutes.
This is much bigger than just the towing industry. So get involved in any way you can, because this is important to everyone that touches any portion of this industry. Anybody who uses the roadways, this is important to you. If you have customers or clients that use the roadways, you want to protect them too. Get involved, spread the word, use that power for good.
Yeah, and I want to add to that, because this is an important piece, because education is important, right? And you have to think about how we as people learn things. If you just tell somebody something one time, right, which is that initial understanding, typically speaking, our human brains forget 90% of what you just told us, at least by the next day.
What did you say? Wait, you forgot something? Wait a minute. What are you talking about over there? I don't remember, because, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. And that's a good point. And that's really how it is. And that's why, like, in our tow businesses, right, we're constantly doing training over and over and over and over again, because if you're going to create a habit, right, that muscle memory, it literally takes repetition over and over and over.
What did you say again? I forget what you said.
Yeah.
Hey.
What are you talking about?
You need to be. What's up?
We came prepared for you two. We know how you two can talk. We came prepared.
Wait a minute now.
Do I need to break
What are you talking about? Hey, talking about muscle memory. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, that's, I mean, you get it. But, like, here's the deal. So, when I think the billboards are amazing. And when we're talking to, towers understand it from a towing's perspective, but the general motoring public doesn't really get it from the towing perspective. And I don't say that in any disrespect in any way, shape, or form, but the regular motoring public, they're not towers. They're not roadside assist, or they're not firefighters. They're not police officers. They're not work zone. They're not, DOT. They're not our road warriors, right? Like our heroes on the roadway that keep us driving. And so when, my ask, and something to think about, a perspective I want to share, is that when you're talking essentially to the other side, I mean, we're in this together. I don't want to think, I really don't want us to separate, but when you're talking to the general public, make it relatable to them, right? Because they really see it from their perspective, and they may not necessarily see it. And I'll give you an example. Do you remember in high school, I think they still do this, and I don't want to date myself. It's been a long time, but I remember going through high school. It was not uncommon my freshman, sophomore, junior year that they always brought that mangled car right before homecoming was there. And here's your friend, or here's the story of in town of how this person was drinking and driving and now they're not with us, and all the impacts. And that really was a very relatable story, right? So if we're talking about,
I just played the Genesis song, Phil Collins, Coming in the Air Tonight. It was like background music of all of the crashes. Hey, Brad McIntosh, great to see you. And we'll get that data, Paul, like you mentioned. Go ahead, Tom.
No, but you see what I'm saying? It's like it's relatable, and like we're human beings, and we really pay attention to what's relatable to us. So when we're talking about this stuff, and we're not to talk politics, when we're reaching across the aisle and we're talking to the general public as towers, we can share our perspectives on how this impacts them, and really then we start talking each other's language. Because here's the reality: towers and the general public, or responders of any kind in the general public, are all talking about the same things, but we're talking in our own language, right? I don't speak Japanese. So imagine if I'm trying to talk to somebody that only can understand Japanese and speaks Japanese, and here I am talking English. We could be talking about totally the same thing, but we're not understanding each other, right? And so it really has to be something that's relatable to everybody. And that goes with education. Education's really, really important, but we have to keep repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And we have to keep repeating it, even when you think you know it. Yeah, I know to slow down and move over. You have to just keep reminding people that they have to slow down and move over, and just make sure the message is clear, that's relatable to the people that you want to get the message to, right? And that's, I think, and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, is how we start coming together and talking the same language of safety, slow down, move over, and how we all get home safer to our families.
I agree. We have to have hard conversations. Doesn't matter how you have it. You just have to have that conversation. I just was at one of our trainings we had held here 2 weeks ago. And I just told the class, just have the conversations. You guys can sit out there and I know that our operators out there on the roadway, they get really frustrated, and they think that it should be that the officers, and I made this point to them, and don't hate, but they're sitting there saying that, officers need to do more for us. We need red and blue lights. We need all of these things. And I hear all this all the time, and they all great points. I don't look over that when they say that. But what they need to understand is we've currently lost more law enforcement officers this year to struck bys than we have tow operators. So their lights are not saving their lives. Because their law enforcement is not saving their lives. Okay. So that we can't use that as an excuse or an argument. We've lost 49 individual responders right now to date. Okay. For struck bys. So that, we had 46 last year at the end of the year. We've already surpassed that. So, but I really want to make that point that it's not one thing that's going to do this. Again, I will keep harping it, keep speaking it. It is the product like Tom's that's going to help. It is the conversations like Tom's talking about. It is educating. It is slow down, move over days. It's not one, and I understand I did this as the third Saturday in October. I know that doesn't work weather-wise for certain northeastern states or the north.
We're
But
cold-blooded. Don't worry about it. We work rain or shine. Get out there. Get the word out.
But I'm going to say this, that there are other states that do events that aren't on this Saturday. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. They're doing something to bring awareness to the laws and the problem, because and I will say this, and I know I've said it before, and I'll keep on. It's a crisis. We are being killed, and there's no other way to sugarcoat that. We are responders, and we are being killed on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a family walk on that stage the other day, and that mama had 5 babies.
Wow. I remember
because
that.
her husband was just trying to do his job.
Just trying to help.
And that right there, that is what fuels my fire. And I will, until I can't do it anymore, I will fight the fight, and I will do everything in my power, everything. I will have the hard conversations with the federal government, and I'm having one tomorrow. So I will have them. I feel like, and again, it's like, I feel like it's all right here. And I know there's a lot of people that work on this, and huge, but I feel like it's all me. And again,
Tom, real quick, Tom, before you make your point, I just want to go back to what Angela said too, is that, yeah, it was an emotional day. And one of the emotions I felt was anger. I was pissed off. I was pissed off. One, that there weren't more people there. It was a packed house. There was standing room only in the parking lot. I wanted to see another 10,000 people there. I wanted to see news coverage. I want to see helicopters. I want to see the entire street shut down, lined with trucks and fire trucks and everything else. I want to scream from the top of my lungs, pay attention, wake up and see what's going on. I was so viscerally angry at what I was watching.
I can tell you that this was one of the biggest years, because we bring in so many chairs for everyone to sit at, that, it was a record year for that. Besides the 100-year event that we had for towing, when that was the year that I left, the end of the year that I left, that I think that, it really holds a good candle to that one for sure.
Yeah, I think they said, because I was at the breakfast on Sunday with the board meeting where we did the minutes. And I think they said it was about 600 people in attendance. It was a record attendance. It was big. Please forgive me if I'm misquoting that number. Not my intention, but it was a big. But I want to go back to something that was said in the chat. Christopher Young mentioned folks don't care about red, blue light. I get the statement. I get the frustration. I get the anger, like you said, Dennis. It's, the reality is it's not that people don't care, is that people don't know, right? And this is, and this is where I get, MF'd all the time. And we talk about this times that we meet each other at shows. I try to take a very objective viewpoint to it, because, rather than being emotionally invested and then thinking with a subjective point of view that's not going to really answer, right, provide the help we want. So you have to look objectively. When I say people don't know, not that they don't care, because you'd be hard pressed to find a good, true human being. There's a lot of good people in this world that say, "Oh, I don't care." That's very few and far between. Generally speaking, people do care. It's kind of the human nature of human beings. So they just don't know. And unfortunately, this fact holds true from 2011, right, when NHTSA did the study. AAA reports on it every single year, typically around the anniversary of our slow down, move over laws that came into place in 1996, right? After a paramedic was struck and injured in 1994, and he got the ticket and then fought for 2 years to get the first slow down, move over law. But 71% of the motorists that are on the road today have no idea about slow down, move over. They don't even know that there's a law.
True fact.
That's in place.
True fact.
Yep.
Whether you want to believe that or not, right? Facts are facts.
It's very true.
I try not to argue with people, but I literally just like, look, I want to come from a place of truth, reality, fact. Facts are facts, whether we believe them or not. Now, in addition to that, and again, the tow industry, I think all responder industries have been very dead set on like lights. I mean, I know vendors that I work with at shows, or that I know at shows. We have light vendors that literally make us standard, our advanced warning or digital alert standard on light bars when they're being purchased, because it makes them get seen. The moment you turn on flashing lights, you've just increased the risk. However, if you're going to use flashing lights, a very low intensity amber is the greatest light you could use. What we've done it as an industry, because we're so caught up in lights, and again, I say this respectfully, this is just look at it objectively. No emotion behind, just look at it objectively. We've gotten so caught up in like bright flashing lights and this and that and this and flashing doodads that are all over, that now we started adding like reds and blues and every color of the rainbow. All the studies are out there. You don't have to take my word for it. The facts are the facts. It's there. Google it. Red and blue lights are the worst lights you could ever use. That's why more law enforcement officers are getting hit. It attracts people's vision. They want to rubberneck at what's going on. They're staring at it and they're driving towards it, and they're killing our law enforcement officers. And I see towers like, well, that's not on my vehicle, I'm going to put it outside. And it just because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, like reds and blues are the worst lights. New York State Police have done this. CHP has done this.
Yeah, there's been a lot of studies on that.
And this is like not just like done yesterday. I'm talking like decades worth of studies on real world data of accidents that were hurting and killing people because of these lights. Now, I'm not saying let's do away with the lights, but if we know that our lights are kind of working against us, what else can we do to make sure that we get seen? And so that's what I love about high visibility clothing. I love about, the chevrons that are used on the backs of trucks, like Pat Graziana, who's the fire chief for the Palatine, Illinois Fire Department. He's also probably one of the most published columnists in hundreds and hundreds of tow times. He talks about the chevrons. He talks about things that we can do on the side of the road. So use your high visibility. I mean, if they don't see even a light duty truck's not a small truck.
You should use everything, but not a lot of lights. I agree with that.
Do your TIMS training. Keep your head on a swivel. And when I say do your TIMS training, don't stop. Make it a bi-weekly thing at your company. Make it a monthly thing. Remember, training to mastery is doing it over and over and over and over and over again. So it becomes muscle memory, right? And Dennis, you were I think you were telling me the story that people that are like constantly doing or like every now and then doing training, and then you see guys like working on the live lane to like operate, their tow truck, and it's like go around and then walking in between the two cars, and you're like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Can you share this link? So it's
shout it out. We'll get it up.
respondersafety.com.
Yeah,
you have 20-minute module, free training. There is a training on lighting. And this is responder training. So although some of it may be geared towards firefighters, I have been the towing liaison on that site since 2006 or 7. So towing has a voice on there. Any module that towing's involved in, I've been a part of. So I can tell you that it's free training, guys. It's free. And there are over 40 modules on there you guys can use in your safety meetings, and they cover parking on the roadway, lighting. They cover a ton. Donning your PPEs, which by law you should have to. You literally have to teach your guys how to do that. You have to show them how to put on a safety vest. Okay, OSHA will. Anyway, that's another discussion. So
and listen.
You know what?
I know we don't.
Just real quick, these things are important because you know what? At the end of the day, if one of your operators, one of your family members is struck and killed, okay, a lawyer will pick this stuff apart and make sure that you have had all this training and you've had all these your OSHA regulations. And guess what? If you haven't, your case is going to get denied, and you're not going to be able to take care of that family that was left behind.
That's a big point.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is,
lawyers right now,
be picked apart. Literally,
we are so litigious in the United States. They are going to. Did you truly do everything? I've read reports of, fire departments that have lanes blocked and signs and cones and blockers and lights going, and how could you miss it? And people still hitting them, and the department still having to fork over money because the Supreme Court of that state said you didn't do everything you possibly could, because there's so much else that you could be doing. So, you know, I know we don't have a lot of time, and so a couple ideas that I would love to share. There's so many great state associations, like APTRA is an amazing one, the the Tennessee Tow Truck Association, and everything like that. But here's the thing. They're all talking the same things, but they're not all on the same page. You know, everyone hears about one voice, one mission. Like, I would love to see the associations, all the state laws. There's 50 different state laws on float on move over. None of them are exactly the same. I live in Illinois. We have the strictest one. But at the end of the day, like let's all start getting on the same page. Let's all start working together. Towers want to get home safer. So does the general public. Police want to get home safer. So do towers. So does, like, we're all talking about the same things in our own different parts, and we're talking about the same things, but we're speaking our own different kind of dialect of that language. So let's get on the same page and start working together. Put your lights on, but don't go crazy with your lights. Keep them low. Keep them low intensity.
And you can have all the lights you want on the truck. You can have all the lights you want. When you go to tow shows, win lighting contests. Put 5,000 lights on your truck. Just don't use them all at once. Use them the right way.
Yep. Be smart about that. Use your high vis. Don't be stupid about your high vis. Use the right high vis, not just, oh, it's yellow, right? There are specific high vis vests out there that literally are like, these are the safer ones to use. Use them, invest in them. Like, who cares if it's $100? Who cares if it's $1? Who cares if you're talking about your life? Can you put a dollar figure on that? You're talking about, you're a business owner. I'm just trying to generate my profits. What are your profits when you lose hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars because you didn't do everything to make sure your employee got home safe? Because the lawyers and that family will tear you apart. It's worth the $5 here. It's worth the $100 there. Like, take the safety training, keep making them do it over and over and over again. Buy it, don't buy it from me, but get advanced digital warning, get inside of those cars, use your signs, use your cones, get those flashing doodads, whatever it is. But literally do everything you possibly can to get people's attention. And not only will you be safer, but you'll start to create habit of the general public that they'll get the hell out of your way. And that means that you're going home safer and they're going home safer. And at the end of the day, we all went home safer to our families. And that's really what we want. We're all in this together.
You're absolutely correct.
Together.
And that's why I say it's not one thing that's going to do the trick. It is a multitude. Everything you just listed, everything. And if your listeners out there want the proper things that they need to have or do, or extra training out there that's free, that, I'm always here for them to answer any questions. If you're a state association or you're an individual in your state that wants to get involved and start different kinds of campaigns, because again, we just did and I'll say this briefly, that there was someone in the comments made the remark about legislation, something about the legislation. Let me go back up here. Where was it at? Brad, driver's education. One thing that we did this year in legislation that we introduced and we got passed was that the government, that they had to include move over laws and that process in their actual driver's education and in driver's ed. So we wanted to make sure, because nowadays kids don't have to take driver's education. It's optional in our state, at least. But I'm with Tom on that when he talks about 50 states have 50 different laws. You're absolutely correct. I know that there is talk through National Association that through let me clarify, TRAA, that they have been working on. I don't know, haven't seen it, don't know what that work is, but I can tell you that if it's going to be, that's a hard pressed thing to do federally, to pass one law that will make everybody happy. So that's a battle amongst within itself. I would love to see it. So, you don't have to drive from this state to this state to be able to get that. But I agree with Tom on everything he says. Me, I'm a big safety girl. I'm a big proponent. Everything you guys can do, make sure you're doing it the right way, though.
Yep.
I mean,
let's
first and
start
foremost.
pushing for some synergy among states that our towers, our roadside responders, our what I like to call our roadside first responders, right, are starting to be recognized as actual responders covered among the law in all of our states, at the federal and at the state level, not for insurance purposes, but just for protection. So I agree.
So
let's work together on this.
that was Shelly's whistle. That means we're just about up on time here. So real quick, Tom, how can our folks reach you in Haas Alert? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'll actually chat it in the comments, but to reach out to me, you can, please feel free to go to the haasalert.com. That's HAAS alert.com/no more names. You can hear about all the money, the big check that we just gave to the Survivor Fund, our partnerships with all of these associations, even the Tow Museum and the Wall of the Fallen. You can reach me via email at Tom, T-O-M, at haasalert.com. That's HAAS alert.com. And feel free to reach out to me direct. You can give me a call at area code 815-994-7244, or reach out to me on Facebook. I'm here. Friend me, send me a message.
Okay, your time's up. Blow your damn whistle.
That's a whistle, Angela. How do we get in touch with you?
Really? I was trying to be
Don't call me
nice.
in the middle of
But
the
she
night.
said all those nice things, and I paid you all that money, but your time's up, dude. Really?
Go in.
Angela, it is Angela at APTRA, APTRA.net. Phone number 512-484-7928. You guys feel free to call me. Don't call me at 2:00 in the morning, though. Please remember, I am like West Coast time. So,
2:00 in the morning, for real.
no. Hey, but do what you can. Always be safe out there, guys. Keep your head on a swivel, always. But I'm always up for having a conversation. I'll help solve or do what I can. And again, have the hard conversations. Have those conversations with your government officials, anybody who will listen. Have it. Vote in public. Hell, have it with your family over Thanksgiving dinner. Because I guarantee you some
Better
of them
than
don't.
talking about politics.
Yep. And don't be afraid to do what it takes to get yourselves home safer, right? We're in this together, and together is how we're going to solve and significantly reduce this problem. I'd love to say solve zero, but let's start on reducing it, and then we'll work on getting to zero together.
We're all at a time here. Stick around in just a second. We're going to share that PSA we were talking about. We will also drop the link to that. Tom, Angela, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the PSA. Check out the Get Hooked podcast coming out next week. You have the info for Tom and Angela, and also joinhonk.com. I have to say it at least 5 times. Joinhonk.com, joinhonk.com, joinhonk.com for any information.
Joinhonk.com.
You guys,
Thank you.
We love you all.
And when in doubt, joinhonk.com.
Hey,
Yes!
wait, real quick. I want to shout out to you guys. I want to shout out to Honk.
We're done.
Thank you.
Thank
you for putting this platform out there for us to be able to speak to you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm always
We'll see you in 2
grateful.
weeks.
Did you know that a tow truck driver is killed by a moving vehicle every 6 days? Imagine having to go to work every day while cars zoom past you at over 50 miles per hour. This is a reality towers and other first responders experience every day. But it doesn't have to be. When you see emergency vehicles with flashing lights stopped on the side of the road, you should slow down, and when it's safe, move over a lane to give them adequate space. It's the law. This simple act could mean the difference between life and death for the tow truck driver and the motorists they're helping, so everyone can get back home to their loved ones. These everyday heroes are parents, brothers, sisters, and friends, and they shouldn't have to worry about their own safety while getting motorists back on the road. Do your part and help keep them safe. When you're driving and you see flashing lights on the side of the road, remember to slow down and move over. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by HONK, the on-demand roadside assistance app.